Tuesdays gray and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love. Sunday, you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh, Thursday doesn't even start. It's Friday, I'm in love.
I'm such an idiot.
Saturday.
I'm such an idiot. I had this song queued up for my stream on Friday, and it's now a Tuesday, and it doesn't make any fucking sense because it's on a fucking Friday. God damn it. I had it all lined up and I fucked it up. Oh, okay. At least we have some shit to talk about. Now it's been a full week. I have collected an ensemble of content. Last week has actually been pretty fun if you've been on the internet. So I'm trying to think if there's anything. I usually do like off the script meta stuff when it comes to like the streams, and I don't think there's anything worth mentioning. I closed down the Telegram chat because it sucked. I don't know what it is, but the Telegram is like, you know, people on that are just like insane. It's just not. It's like it doesn't add anything. It's worth having when there's like downtime, I guess, but like the amount of drama that it creates, just because people, it's so weird because it's like people want to create like their own channels and then like they want to promote their channels, and like there was like a concerted effort to try to shut down the channel, like the main one, for months because they wanted their splinters to have like a couple more people so that they could be the admins of that channel and then have more power because they have more users in their channel. And it's like, why would you spend your time doing that? I really don't understand. But yeah, the last straw was that all the mods were like involved in like gay drama, so I got rid of them. And then they started like shitting up the main channel to try and cause problems because they were upset that they were no longer mods. So then I put confidence into one guy who was pretty level-headed, and then he was like sexually harassing women and sending them unsolicited nudes and shit, and like collecting nudes of like different women on the Telegram that were being sent around and trying to extort people. So it's like, yeah, I'm done. I don't care about this chat, and it's causing nothing but problems, and there's no purpose to it. It detracts from the main site, so I'm done. Very done with this. So that's the update with that. If the site ever has issues and like extended downtime, I'll probably re-enable it for a while. But yeah, it's just like too much hassle for something that doesn't produce anything. You know what I mean? So that being said, let us engage the news hamster. The news hamster is now engaged properly, and make sure everything is ready. Okay. Take a look at the news. So shocking story out of Ohio, the great state of Ohio. White supremacy is on the rise. There have been an increase in shocking, vile, disgusting flyers going up all over Ohio, showing that the roots and legacy of white supremacy culture in the Midwest is still alive and well. And they say they have found little baggies containing flyers with messages such as, "We have to protect our white children, and it's okay to be white." It's okay. So this is the Rob Streck. He's the sheriff from Montgomery County in Ohio. He says, "Even though it was random and there are no certain groups targeted, it didn't matter who was in the house. Everybody got the same thing," said Streck. "But it is definitely one of those things that is considered hate speech." The bar for hate speech is so low. This is why it's important to keep free speech online and alive, because people need to remind the masses what hate speech really looks like. I think that with so much of internet discourse cleaned up, everyone's really forgotten exactly what hate speech sounds like. And I think if they were reminded of what actual hate speech looks and sounds like, and what statements are said when hate is actually coursing through one's veins, they would no longer consider these benign, asinine statements about it's okay to be white to be true hate speech. That is my hot take on that. I think people would be shocked to know. I think people, especially people in like little metropolitan bubbles, would be shocked to know what some people actually do think these days. Everything is racist. Yes, that's true. Just want to share that little bit of a black pill. This is also a black pill. A tropical storm. Well, it was a hurricane, but a tropical storm in Hillary, surprisingly enough, made it across Mexico to the Pacific and struck California for the first time, I think, in 80 plus years. And we were hoping for a disaster that would make New Orleans look like a fucking joke. We were hoping for there to be such widespread devastation and loss of life that the United States would never recover, that it would go down in the history books like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Unfortunately, Hollywood convened an emergency meeting and pulled out their sharpest, most runic daggers and their whitest kidnapped babies, and they put them all to the butcher block, and the disaster was averted by the power of Satan. And all that happened is some shitty stadium flooded. Nobody gives a fuck. There were some black people dancing in the river or in the streets when it was a little bit like ankle deep in water. Like, I love the hurricane. And yeah, it's, I think like one person died. I think more people die on an average day in LA when they're just like gang members running around shooting each other and shit than there were on the day that the hurricane struck, because everyone was prepared and staying inside and shit. You just leave them to their own devices. They kill each other faster than the cane could. Such is life. I was hoping for a miracle, and instead I just got some black people twerking in flooded streets for a day. I can't say the same for Maui, though. I don't really care to talk about that because I don't really care about Hawaii at all. I don't even know why it's a state. We just felt bad for them because they got hit by Pearl Harbor, and like, okay, fine, I guess you can be a state if you really want to. And then they were. Okay, this is the woman of indeterminate ethnic origin who is playing Snow White. She appears to be mildly retarded. Everything that she says appears to be the deranged thoughts of someone who is seriously addicted to some kind of psychotropic medication, and she can no longer form coherent thoughts. And as a result, everyone seems to hate her. I don't know what kind of personality she's going for, but I'm going to subject you to 49 seconds of her talking.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no Prince, or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because like we cast a guy in the movie,
right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood.
I don't know what it is. There's something extremely off-putting about the way she speaks.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1936.
I really don't know like what it is. There's some kind of like trigger in how she speaks that like activates some kind of rage. Like rage. I don't know, like node in the brain. It's like, yeah, I really wish you would shut the fuck up. I'm already sick of you, and I would never want to hear from you ever again. So if you want to hear this woman talk continuously for a full-length feature movie about something she hates, which apparently I think as annoying as she is, I think the funnier thing with the Snow White shit that Disney's doing is that they're making all the dwarves, because you can't call people dwarves anymore. That's sexist or some shit. So they're making them like a multiracial cast of quote unquote magical creatures. because you can't have midgets anymore in a movie. Midgets are bad. That's retard shaming. So they're just gonna cast a bunch of like ambiguous, androgynous, sexually confused people as magic, quote unquote, magical creatures that I guess will assist this annoying bitch on her journey, which may or may not include a prince for whatever reason. It's really the worst pitch for a movie ever conceived, as Disney continues to bankrupt all their intellectual property for the purpose of like short-term enrichment and tax write-offs, I guess. Short people don't exist. No, they do exist, but they're called manlets, and we all hate them. That's the sad truth. It's better to be dead than to be a manlet. Now, this is the other part of it. Someone was saying, she made a tweet saying, "I hope the world becomes kinder," because I guess she got the vibe that every single person on the entire planet thought that she was annoying. So someone replied to this with a collection of her tweets saying, "Can I be the new Hawkeye? Actually, I think the new Hawkeye should be a trans woman of color and stick it to those racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster." And then she says, "Not even remotely going to address the story that came out today, but he has made racist, sexist, transphobic comments and totally disrespected the deaf community. Better catch my mouth because she running by." Is she black? Is this considered a black person? I don't know what the fuck she is. It's because she has like really straightened out hair. It's like throwing me off. I don't know what the fuck she is. She talks really black though. If she's not black, she wants to be black. Garbage monster. Dude, I'm telling you, if that city... I thought we were going to get a win, man. I heard that there was a hurricane coming to LA, and I thought, oh my God, they don't get hurricanes. This is going to be a disaster. This is going to be a calamity. There's going to be like rock slides from the water falling, and they're going to be like, the roads are going to flood out, and every major interstate throughout, the very, very congested LA streets would be, flooded and blocked off, and they would be literally trapped, and they would drown. Every single person in LA would fucking drown, and it would be a nightmare. And Joe Biden would be the president in charge of the emergency relief, and it would just be the biggest shit show on the planet. It would go, everything would fall apart. There would be a calamity. There would be literally hundreds of thousands of deaths, like an Indonesian tidal wave had hit. But no, just like with Epstein, we can't get anything right. Nothing nice ever happens. The people that deserve it the most never get it, chat. Oh, wow. I hope her movie is nice. Oh, this made me laugh. This set me off on a tangent because I was thinking about like if it applied to me. This guy named Quibble Cop apparently partnered with some AI like machine learning thing and put out a video that's entirely generated by machine learning that was based off of like a model based off of him. So I think that this will be successful. I think that especially with the VTuber stuff, I think that this is like economically viable because with the VTubers, you already don't have like people. They're just avatars. So like, people send me super chats and are like, "Josh, what's your opinion of this stupid fucking thing that you don't like?" Usually a VTuber. And I say the same thing. I say, "This sucks." So I imagine imagine if there was like a Josh machine learning podcast thing that you fed off of all my podcasts, right? And then you could program it to respond to super chats as they come in. So someone sends in a $500 super chat, and that affords you like 15 minutes of programming, right? So the $500 super chat comes in. And it's like, "Josh, what's your opinion on this VTuber, Okudoko Chan or whatever the fuck?" And then you get like 15, like, because you paid so much, you get like 15 minutes of like, I'm sure if you took all my opinions and fed them through a machine learning thing, you could probably generate like 5 paragraphs worth of rants about anime and shit. And then that person would be gratified and annoying this fictitious version of me through their super chat, and they would get their money's worth, and people would watch it and clip it and shit. I'm pretty sure that this is economically viable. And then the VTubers themselves are just like, what do? They sing. So they do covers of songs, right? So you just take a song, like we already have technology for that. You can just, in essence, say, Doku Chan, sing Alabama Neighbor by Johnny Rebel, and then she does that for $100, and you don't actually have to sing that song. She'll just do it on the fly because she's a program. I think that this is possible. I think this will happen soon. I think that because wasn't there already like an AI porn bot that they ran on Chatterbait or some shit, and all the prostitutes on that platform collectively shit themselves in fear and like protested about how they were being replaced by their job as a prostitute was being replaced by machine learning. This is entirely going to happen like in the next couple of years. I guarantee it. We're going to have just regular computer, bots that can replace VTubers. That's a job that needs to be replaced. You talked about replacing janitors with robots and McDonald's employees with robots. Nah, fuck that. We need to replace the VTuber industry with a computer program trained off the most annoying people on the planet. We need to find like a 70 IQ retarded woman in Japan that is just obsessed with pop culture. We need to find her and force her to react to, a month's worth of garbage. And then we feed that into a machine and we put her on Twitch and she will react to your dumb bullshit for $50. And that will make a killing. That'll make like $1 million a week because it's a 24-hour thing, right? She's always online. So every demographic across the entire world is going to be able to participate in this machine learning program. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be. Everyone will complain at first, but then they'll like it. All those VTuber people will just be like, "Oh well, she's always streaming and she always responds to my super chats, so I like her more." It's gonna happen. We've already got AI VTubers based. Get rid of them. Get them all out of here. Soon they'll all be saying the N-word to prove that they're not real or that they're not fake. No, really, I'm a real man pretending to be a woman with a voice filter. I'm dropping N-bombs. A machine couldn't do that. A Doko-chan couldn't do that because she's not programmed to. Okay, whatever. Yeah, have fun with that. People are already programming my voice into shit. It's gonna happen. I get royalties if you use my voice for a thing, though. Max Carson, noted pedophile, who I've been telling everyone for years is a pedophile, wrote an article on Substack called "People Shouldn't Go to Jail for Looking at Child Pornography." He opens by saying, "I enjoy masturbating to Cardi B music videos, cartoons about incest, and stories about men being sexually abused by their mothers on the website malesurvivor.org." He then goes on to pontificate that people who watch child pornography should not be penalized for it. There's a specific phrase here. "It's already kind of a big favor to ask pedophiles to live their life in miserable celibacy." So that's the only point I'm going to address because it's kind of gross. I mean, the entire article is gross, but like that one in particular, what it implies, what he thinks it implies, is really, really creepy. Nobody is forcing pedophiles to be celibate. They can have sex. They just can't have sex with children, which is a choice that they make. So I don't see how anyone's forcing them to do anything. You just can't get what you want when it involves traumatizing people. So this article was maybe one bridge too far because there have been very negative reactions to it. Poe's Law, or Dying Scribe on Twitter, says, "I can't believe this man. I thought this man was doing a bit 3 years ago when I spoke to him on a podcast." So now all the people who took the defense of this fucker being some kind of comedic genius because he made a song saying that he's a pedophile, and then he made a follow-up song saying, "I kill pedophiles." Wow. He's so funny. He really is pushing the boundaries of comedy. He's just using the offensive gimmick to its absolute potential, i.e. Dick Masterson and Vito, who's also a pedophile. Vito and this guy, by the way, are like best friends. They've known each other for years. They knew each other for years before Carson put out the videos about how he was a pedophile and wrote this, and they remain friends to this day. So if you have any suspicions that Vito is not a pedophile, here's your guilt by association ticket to fill in the blanks. I don't know what the fuck Dick is doing though. Like I don't know. I don't really feel that strongly about it because he has enough plausible deniability, I guess. But there's a lot of smoke around this potential Schrodinger's fire. I'm just wondering, like, are they actually happy with their life choices when they decide I'm gonna go all in with like being friends with this fucking retard and this open pedophile? Are they like now in 2023, like, he did it again? Another stroke of comedic genius. He really has caught the attention of the world at large through his offensive hot takes. By utilizing free speech to his absolute maximum potential, he has once again reinvigorated discussion around him. If only we could be so clever and thoughtful. Like, is that what they're thinking? Or is it like, oh, I stuck my dick into this pile of shit and now my dick smells like shit? Is that, no, that's too much self-awareness. I think that they're probably like, yeah, they're going to like cope and see that this is funny. However, I noticed a reply to this one too. June also tweeted this. Same thing happened with this guy. Many thought he was a troll until, and this is a picture of Amos Yee, who was jailed for grooming a 14-year-old and possessing child pornography. If you don't remember, Amos Yee made a similar argument that all child pornography, including, actually, I think he argued pedophilia should be legal, like including down to like toddler ages and shit. And everyone thought that he was just like a troll. Even Medicare was like, he might just be a troll, but it's really fucking weird. And then he got busted on child pornography charges. Now, I am extremely gratified to see that in the mainstream discourse, my particular takes that I feel like it's kind of hard. I get a big head when I think about this, because as far as I'm aware, I never remembered seeing any people making these observations before I did, and now I see them a lot. And it's like, did me talking about this spread it into like public consciousness, or did people just come to the same conclusion? Because as far as I'm concerned, what I say is true. So it is entirely possible that people independently come to this conclusion on their own. It's also possible that people take what I say and then spread it on their own. Because my point has always been that people do not joke about being a pedophile. They get off on announcing to the world that they are a pedophile, knowing that people can't do anything about it, and that they can brush it off as a joke to avoid consequences. See Amos Yee, see Max Carson. I remember making those points before it was popular to do so. I don't remember ever. I came to those conclusions because of experiences dealing with fucking weirdos on the internet. Now I feel gratified seeing that these points are reiterated. So I don't know if it's just people realizing the same thing over time, or if I have in some small way contributed to people no longer tolerating this kind of bullshit. Who knows? Who knows? Is all of June's hair gone by now? That's mean. But probably. I've always wondered that. I've always wondered if her hair, because she has never, ever posted a picture of her without her wig on. Ever. So I'm always wondered, is it like really wispy and missing hair all over? Like, or is there like a giant patch of it? Or is it like only like one hole in her like hairline that's just gone? Like, does she pick the same spot, or like multiple spots? Or does she just pluck it out at random so it's like really weird and wispy? I'm kind of curious how this manifests in somebody's scalp. Yeah, sorry, I know, look. I know that it is not fun to talk about pedophiles and trannies as much as I do. I've been running the site for 10 years, and there was a time where the majority of people on the site were not pedophiles and not trannies. You had Nick Bait as like the odd one out, and you didn't really have any trannies because it wasn't a thing. Then around 2015, 2014, 2016 especially, tranny shit becomes in vogue. And then as like the last couple years, like pedophile shit is just everywhere now. It didn't used to be that way. I more than anyone would enjoy a return to form of content. But for whatever reason, the flow of things is no longer proceeding that way. And I think that a lot of it is that what we would consider locales these days are mostly like ferreted away into small Discord circles. There's not a lot of like weirdos who are just posting weird art to DeviantArt anymore, or uploading weird videos to like YouTube channels that have 20,000 videos, and they just have fun online. For whatever reason, in the modern era, those kinds of people are less frequent than you would hope for. So I do keep my eye open for fun stuff, but things have definitely changed. It's like when it was 2016, like everything turned up on its head in 2016, especially on the internet. And it's the genie doesn't go back into the bottle. TikTok has a lot of weirdos. Well, I don't use TikTok, and I don't want to, because it's like a platform for children. You know what I mean? So I did actually, the one locale that I reached out to make fun of was Dylan Mulvaney. He was a TikToker, and now he's like an international celebrity who gets invited to the White House and ruins multi-billion-dollar corporations. Isn't that like that? That was something that I talked about before that was popular too. I feel like such a hipster. I'm on the fringes, finding shit and coming up with ideas before they become popular. Not to toot my own horn too much. I do see a trend though. It is. It's true. It's my fault. Anyways, this article, I'll just read the URL. It's thebearcave.substack.com. And it's an article that goes into great detail about how Roblox, which is a publicly traded company worth $18 billion now. That makes me laugh. I'll explain why. But he goes into detail about the like how much grooming takes place on Roblox and how they don't really do anything about it. I think that a lot of this in these screen caps are people offering money for like nudes and stuff on Snapchat and Discord. So they're literally trading Roblox for child pornography, and it's working. And Roblox doesn't really do anything. And what I find really interesting, and I didn't even know this, but when I was on YouTube, the largest follower count subscriber that I had was a guy called Ruben Sim. He had multiple million subscribers, I think. I want to say he was one of the most popular. And I never knew what he did. I just saw that he made Roblox videos. I was like, oh, that's weird. However, I see here, Roblox, quoting the article, Roblox doesn't appear to appreciate the effort to highlight pedophilia on its platform. In November 2021, Roblox sued YouTuber Ruben Sim for $1.6 million and issued a lifetime ban on his usage of the platform. So Ruben Sim, who is an OG, mad at the internet fan, I've seen him for years, at some point in the last 2 years came out and did a whole expose about how much grooming was taking place on Roblox. And their response was to ban him and sue him for almost $2 million as a consequence. And I didn't know that. I kind of wish that he sent me an email and told me about this as it was happening, because I definitely would have talked about it. I don't even know the details. I just saw this right before the stream, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? I know this guy. He's in my chat sometimes. He had a verified badge. That's why I kept seeing him. Now I'm really curious. Did he win? Because I'm rooting for him now. That's kind of cool. It goes into detail about actual convictions that and charges that took place because of sting operations taking place on Roblox. So shout out to my boy Ruben Sim, who I don't know anything about except for the fact he shows up in my chat sometimes and got sued by Roblox for exposing their pedophiles on their platform. He settled? Really? Let's see. Look this up real quick. Ruben Sim Roblox lawsuit. Reach an agreement after legal battle. Alongside the court-ordered ban and $150,000 in fines, Sim also agreed not to make, publish, or republish false threats of terrorist activity relating to Roblox. Damn. I guess that's what happened when you piss off a multi-billion-dollar organization. I guess that's fucked up though. No, he published or republished false threats of terrorist activity. I think that he claimed that something was happening on their platform that was terroristy, and they sued him for that. And I guess he probably like stepped over a line, so that the smart thing to do was to just settle for that, because I think that his channel is so big that he could probably pay $150,000 and get away with it. But that's a pain in the ass. That's kind of fucked up. The reason why I laughed at this is that, fun fact, everybody knows I'm a Blockland OG. I'm not a Roblox OG. Roblox and Blockland at some point in time when I was like a teenager had like a rivalry. So brief history on Blockland. It was a Lego building game in the Torque engine. It predates both Minecraft and Roblox. It was a very novel concept when it was released, and it had a pretty strong following for back in the day. Then Minecraft came out and Roblox came out, and Bad Spot, who was the guy in charge, lost to both of them. And the reason why is very funny. Bad Spot hated his audience. He hated the people that bought his game, because when he made the game Blockland, he wanted it to, he was a goon. That's why his name was Bad Spot. It's kind of a play on low tax. He wanted to make like a cool EVE Online type game that goons would find cool. And goons not too many played the game, but a bunch of kids did, myself included. And because he hated the fact that children played his game and bought his game, he held his community in absolute contempt, and basically allowed the kids on the forum to eat each other like wild animals, which is my origin story. He also held a very dismissive view of Roblox and said that it looked ugly, which is true. The characters look hideous. Blocklands was a much nicer looking game. It had, like, at the time, it had better shading and all sorts of stuff, and you could host your own servers directly on your LAN. Unfortunately for him, Roblox was a much more business-oriented group, and they were much more savvy than him. By the time that I stopped playing, you would see Roblox cards in like Walmart and shit, and Minecraft was already like a massive name. So I've always found it extremely funny and gratifying to know that Bad Spot, who did make a couple $1 million off his game, lost out on hundreds of millions of dollars because he held his player base in such low regards and really just didn't want it to be a successful game. And I hope that eats at him. I'm sure that he's doing okay, but I really hope that he eats at him, that Roblox is worth $18 billion, and that, what is it, Notch sold Minecraft for however much fucking money. I hope fucking eats at him. Anyways. Also, Mr. Beast dropped his lawsuit. I mentioned, I think, that he was suing a burger company or some kind of like delivery service where independent kitchens could make a certain type of food and it would be labeled the Mr. Beast burger. And he didn't really have any quality control, so he sued them to stop using his name. He fucked up the jurisdiction and then dropped his lawsuit immediately. So it's already over. He fucked up. Sucks. Sucks to suck. Should have hired a better lawyer. Now, the news hamster will stay up, but we're going to be talking about gay shit just a little bit. The big gay news that I find interesting is that Germany has banned migrants from changing their gender. And this is actually a deceptive article title at least. The migrants that they banned from changing gender are migrants scheduled to be deported. And I think the reason that Germany has decided to ban people awaiting deportation from changing gender is that they probably have to automatically accept any claims of asylum based on transsexual discrimination from Muslim migrants. Because you can't, the law is that if someone says that they're a female and they claim asylum, you can't send them back to a place where they're going to be prejudiced against. So you can't send them back to Syria or Turkey or whatever the fuck. So I figure that I figure that if they figured out at some point that if they just claim that they're transgender, then suddenly they cannot be deported immediately. And the Germans are so stuck to their technicalities and rule of law that they're going to be like, okay, fine, you win. I guess we can't deport you. And then everyone did it all at once. Sorry. So they just said, okay, fuck it, we have to ban it. And so they did. There was another part to this. They didn't just ban the migrants awaiting deportation from being kicked out. There was something else. What was it? Banned illegal migrants from changing gender. There's... Sorry, the site's loading really slow. Right. I'm really trying to figure out what it was. Sorry, I don't know. There was like two parts to this, and but people like deliberately misrepresented that it would apply to everybody in the country, and it didn't. Site loads always loads. I know. I work on it, and then it really fucks me up because when I work on the site, I sometimes it seems really fast after I make changes, and then it doesn't after a little while, and it literally drives me fucking insane that I make changes and then they work for a while and then they stop working, because I'm like, what the fuck is what is the difference between when this was working and now? I really don't know, because I have more than enough resources. It's just a configuration issue. Sucks ass. Okay, whatever. I make fun of this guy a lot. This is the trim that went up to Congress and got completely butt blasted in front of Congress by a real woman. I think he's not a lawyer. He just works at Harvard as like a gender issues person. And he was also part of Drop Kiwi Farms. And he went to Congress to like talk about extremism online. And the Congress lady literally pulled out like an entire like one of those giant easels that have, you know, like a printed paper, like a spiral column, and just went and flipped through page after page of this person tweeting violence towards like the Supreme Court and to Congress, just like openly calling for people to be, you know, removed physically from the government. And she's like, is this what you would consider extremism? And the Tron is just sitting there all greasy and sweaty with like a rotting crotch. Like, that's pretty based. So the original tweet was Andy No says, one of the most prominent voices of disinformation on this site is Alejandra Caraballo, which is a base fucking statement. Elon Musk, at Elon Musk, she has spread hoax after hoax, and Community Notes is not able to catch up because she uses block automation to prevent non-leftist ideologues from seeing her post. Blocking should ... And then Elon Musk says blocking posts makes no sense. It needs to be deprecated in favor of stronger form of mute. Alejandra Caraballo takes credit for this, saying, I helped get the block feature eliminated from Twitter. I hope this is the final nail in the coffin for this hell site. Elon Musk, I guess, also replied to himself saying that block is going to be deleted as a feature except for DMs. It makes no sense. Caraballo responds again saying, all of the Twitter left-right neo-Nazis and insufferable radical centrists came together to ratio Elon for saying that he was limiting the block feature on the site. And the surf says Elon Musk may have finally found an idea so spectacularly bad it was united every political ideology against it. Matt Walsh replying, saying, not a good idea. I don't block often, but when I do, it's because of accounts that do nothing but spam, harass, docs, etc. It's probably I'm probably one of the most blocked people on the site, even though I never spam or harass anyone, and even I'm saying this blocking feature is needed. It is. it is true though. The issue is that blocking, it is annoying that blocking like prevents people from seeing tweets. That's stupid. However, it is advantageous to have it so that people can't reply, because what people will do, like I saw this a lot with like Christian. There was one guy who would make, when I was monitoring Chris's Twitter account, there was one guy who was like obsessively replying, not to Chris directly, but to every single person replying to Chris, like harassing them. And the only way to deal with that is to block him. And he would make new accounts like one after the other, literally like hundreds of accounts a day on Twitter to try and get around Chris Chen blocking him so that he could cry about it more. It does, like, block is effective in that regard to keeping like actual desperate lunatic weirdos from being able to harass people trying to interact with you and shit. No, it wasn't Jacob Sockness. It was some other faggot. I don't know. Look, all the late Chris trolls need to be buried alive in a pit with Chinese sick pigs, okay? Like, they're not human beings. I can't distinguish them from each other. They're just little monsters that walk around and need to be disposed of as brutally as possible. They're not real people. Yeah, I don't know. I can see, like, he needs to just change it so that block doesn't make it so that people can't see your timeline, because that's stupid. That is, like, it degrades the platform. Because all you have to do is, like, sign out to see it anyways, or open a private tab. It doesn't need to make it so that people can't reply to replies, though, because otherwise that's, it invites harassment. Okay. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but some clinic in Alaska, I'm assuming in Juneau, because that's like the gayest part of Alaska. Where does the gender affirming clinic? Identity, Alaska. This has to be in Juneau. Hold up. I'm on a little task right now. Let's see that address on the bottom of the page. Juneau. Sweet Indiana, Elena. What the fuck is that? South Central. So it's in the middle of nowhere? How the fuck do you even visit this? Denaria is... It's literally in the middle of nowhere. Okay. I'm disappointed it's not contained in gay-ass Juneau. Anyways, the clinic replaced the word mother with egg producer, and the gross assistant secretary, Dr. Rachel Levine, came out and said that is based. He's explicitly praised it. And said that this is what we need to do. We need more dehumanizing language for mothers, because mothers are evil unless they're trannies with transplant uteruses. Then they're based. You know, if you said egg producer to me, like out of context, you said, like, if you just say the sentence egg producer, like without any kind of, like, if I hear someone like if I overhear someone talking about an egg producer, I would assume that they're either talking about someone who works on a chicken farm or about a chicken. Like, that chicken is an egg producing breed of chicken, or that man is an egg producer. He works on a chicken farm and collects eggs. I would not think of a woman. Generally, there's more to being a woman than to being an egg producer. I don't know. I guess they're trying to abstract the concept of motherhood away from biological sex or gender identity or whatever, but it has the opposite effect, because you're referring to women. You're just referring to them as like a bodily function, like bleeders. Yeah, women are bleeders. They're egg producers, milk makers, tindy cookers, and complainers. Am I right, fellow men? Is a woman more than the sum of her parts? Is she more than bleeding, egg producing, milk making, tindy cooking, cleaning up around the house, dishwashing? Is dishwashing? It's it's like a 1960s misogynistic joke. What do you do when your egg maker stops working? You slap her. Thanks, Dr. Levine. I'll implement this knowledge in my day-to-day life. Okay, what's the next one? Oh, the world record thing. This guy right here, this beautiful man, he has gone ahead and proved once again that egg makers need to learn their fucking place. He has utterly, totally obliterated the heavyweight lifting world record for the women's division by 200 kilograms. That's not 200 kilograms in total. He has broken the women's weightlifting record by 200 kilograms above what it was previously set. So now there is first place, this fucking guy. Second place, 200 kilograms lighter, the strongest woman lift ever recorded. So really just rubbing it in that the Troons now run this shit. You want to do sports? Too fucking bad. You got to compete with this dude. Fun stuff. I have to be careful with how I talk about this. Actually, the news hamster. Sorry, hamster. You are now officially out of the news segment, I think. Chris Nova, a Troon, and head of the part of the Niven Lee Foundation, has died. You may not know who that is. I do. They announce, "It is with immense sadness that we must share with you news of our loss of our friend, our leader, and our mentor, Chris Nova. It was Nova who inspired us to come together and build Hatchaderm, whose vision created Nivenly, and whose mission we continue to carry forward. In her working life beyond Nivenly, she was behind a legacy of professionalism and strength of vision, and we all miss her terribly. This is very fresh and raw for us in the Nivenly community right now, so we ask for patience while we figure out how to move forward, but we move forward as we will, and we know this is what Nova would have wanted." So people initially assumed that he had killed himself. This is not the case. He fell. He was rock climbing and fell to his death. This person was involved on Drop Kiwi Farms and actually deliberately sabotaged our domain registrar with Icenik, which is the Icelandic name authority. So the reason we don't have Kiwi Farms at IS anymore is because Chris Nova filed a complaint with the IS and IC, and they seized it on his behalf. So don't feel too bad. He also hates his mom or something. This guy says, "Dear mother, you are a coward. You prioritize your reputation above your love and well-being for your child. You are toxic. The world will be healthier when your toxicity is gone. I will physically never be able to create biological children. I will never spread your poison." And then says, "How do I respond to this?" And this is a tweet from his mother, or a message from his mother to him saying, "Chris, it's your task to be amazing. Your mother to appreciate it. You are accomplishing your task, and a lot of people appreciate you for that." I don't even know. I guess that's the message from his mom that he's upset about. Daniel says, "Parents who don't understand or try to suck. I'm sorry for your loss," frowny face. And Chris says, "Fuck you. I'm sorry for their loss," implying that his mother really is missing out on his great troonery and his objective in censoring the internet. Which I don't know. I find this whole thing, but they're a close friend of Liz Fong Jones, by the way, which is why this is notable at all. I do find it surprising that an experienced rock climber did die this way, and you know, kind of related to my Blockland Minecraft thing. I remember learning from Minecraft that, Chris, when you're going to hell, you're not supposed to dig straight down. Rookie mistake. Everyone knows that. You're supposed to build at an angle. You're not supposed to just dig straight down right below you the entire time. That's how you fall off into the lake, into the burning lake, chat. He was a real light rock climber and a real woman. It's another addition of bad things happening to bad people, chat. I hope you're white pilled. So this is why there was no stream on Friday. It was this one. I was on Sunday. Okay. Oh, I guess I didn't get to talk about this either, though. I did tweet about it. Redux, which is like an anti-trans like news article thing, published an article about something I've already talked about, but it was significant because it's such a large publication. I published a newspaper clipping from months ago that indicated that Stephanie Hayden, who is not Stephanie, his name is Anthony, really. Stephanie Hayden was at one point in the UK convicted of, I think, trying to solicit sexual acts from a 14-year-old boy. I think that he even had like some kind of creepy website where he would post pictures of young boys and like rate them. So he's like an obvious sex pest. And this is the guy that's been suing Carolyn Farrow for months and months and months, and it was almost the reason why they put her under that strict surveillance program where they would seize all her internet devices and install spyware on them and be able to inspect them at any time of day or night for months and months and months, as a part of Hayden's like criminal stalking complaints against her, as she does absolutely nothing towards him. This is the person that the UK is bending over backwards to try and defend. And Redux put out an article apropos of nothing. The Redux article about Hayden's sexual misadventures is based off of public information, newspaper clippings that can be found by anybody, which have been present on the Kiwi farms for months at this point. And he immediately believes that this is the work of Carolyn Farrow. So he goes out and files I think he's filed like another complaint that she's supplying truthful, factually accurate information to Redux that he is a convicted sex pest in the United Kingdom. I don't know what's come of that, but as far as I'm aware, Carolyn Farrow actually hasn't done anything, and Redux just found this information about Anthony Hayden all by himself. So it's really crazy. What? Oh, let me remind everybody that Stephanie Hayden has been, because Carolyn Farrow posts on the Kiwi farms, Stephanie Hayden, whose real name is Anthony Hayden, has been filing criminal complaints against her continuously for years in the United Kingdom. And because Carolyn Farrow has never stopped posting on the Kiwi farms despite all these complaints, the United Kingdom at one point they actually filed with the judge, her local, I think she's in Surrey, so the Surrey Police Department, which is now internationally famous. Nobody knows where Surrey is on the map. More people know where Kyiv is on the map than Surrey at this point, but everybody knows that the Surrey Police Department is the biggest group of fucking faggots on the entire planet, and not a single one of them has a soul. And they actually wanted the judge to allow them to put her on some kind of like terrorist watch list where they would inspect her devices, limit the amount of internet connected devices that she had access to, make it illegal for her to own internet devices that were not on a list of devices that they kept in their office and knew to inspect, and so on and so forth. Like literally put her under house arrest without any trial. They wanted to do this preemptively to stop her from allegedly harassing Stephanie Hayden on the Kiwi farms. And they withdrew that complaint because it was an obvious overreach. Like there's fucking North Korea does not treat people like that until they try to escape the country. So, which he hasn't tried to do yet. So it was just ridiculous. I think they sensed that it was going to blow up because she is such a defensible character in social media, and withdrew the complaint autonomously before she even responded. I think that she did respond asking for evidence of the harassment, and they refused to provide it to her. So they withdrew the complaint on their own. But this is who it's for. This is who they're doing it for. It's for this fucking creep. Yeah, it's like wow bad by even European standards. It's just ridiculous. So there's that. Again, more fire, more fuel for the fire for these people. And Dylan Mulvaney, I talked about this when it happened, but Dylan Mulvaney cited this person in some kind of speech as being an inspiration to him. And the person he's reference is Alec Vide-Minnen, who very famously, as it says here, he attended the Human Rights Campaign Trans Creator Summit and said that he would be most influenced by the man who is in this pic related. This is Alec, and he said, quote, "These days, the narrative is that transgender people will come into a bathroom and abuse little girls. The supposed purity of the victim has remained stagnant. There is no princesses. Little girls are also kinky. Your kids aren't as straight and narrow as you think." That is a quote by a person that Dylan Mulvaney directly cited as a huge inspiration to him. And it's just like the most disgusting shit possible. He deleted the video or image that contained a reference to this person because it was an obvious blunder. A kind of mask off moment for Mr. Dylan. And what I find interesting about it is that Dylan is not really trans. He's what's called an HSTS, a homosexual transsexual, not to be confused with the HTTPS protocol for preloading SSL certificates for certain websites. The homosexual transsexual is the opposite of a security protocol. They are a sex pest. They usually fetishize tricking straight men into having sex with them. I think in Dylan's case, he was kind of, he was on Broadway. He wanted to be like an actor. He switched between LA and New York City, and he kind of had like a stagnant career. He was showing up in advertisements and on The Price is Right and shit. He was trying to break in. So he had like this shitty career. He wasn't going anywhere in life, and he was about to hit twink death. So I believe the Glow neighbors reached out to him when he caught on to the X days of girlhood thing, and they propelled him to celebrity status because unlike most troons, the HSTS is the most sympathetic of transsexuals because people are very vain, and a lot of people will look at someone who passes in their social media pictures like Blair White jumps to mind. People seem to invent a lot of excuses for Blair White. There's others who pass much better than your average like goblin troon on the Kiwi farms. But those people who pass really well are the HSTS, the homosexual transsexuals. And since they're just gay men, they're very conscious about appearance and their physique, and their fetish is to try and get into a quote unquote heterosexual relationship with straight men. That's different from the autogenophile, which is the goblin people. So the HSTS is a more sympathetic breed of shrew, and they try to prop up to say like, look, they're just like you and me. They just want to live their life as women, because people will see them and very vainly assume that they are, more sympathetic. So Dylan was in a good position because of his clean record and the fact that he was an HSTS instead of a goblin autogenophile. And they said, we can make this guy a celebrity for the cause because unlike most, you see these people running for state Congress and shit, and they're all gross sex pest goblin autogenophiles who get convicted. I think it was in Vermont or New Hampshire or some shit where the congressional troon got convicted of child pornography charges, and his troon husband was like sending photos from children at their daycare center to him. Really nasty shit. So they're like, okay, we need to avoid this. We need an HSTS troon and not a goblin troon. So they pick Dylan, they prop him up. And then after a year, even after the Bud Light scandal, he was still getting gigs. They were still propping him up, promoting him, putting him in makeup ads for Maybelline and shit. And then this happens. And I think that if this catches enough attention, the fact that he quoted this fucking creep, I think that Dylan's career will be over. Because the only thing that he really has going for him is that he's not a obvious sex pest. And if that reputation is tarnished in that direction, it's over, because he'll have outlived his usefulness to the system and it's gone. That's how I feel about that, at least. I do have a PhD in shrooms. Thank you. Hector Martin, the guy who originated the BU suicide myth. I'm not going to stay on this too long. People found out that he's like a huge Tuhu fan. You know how I feel about Tuhu. Actually, you know how I feel about Tuhu, and he follows a bunch of accounts on the Fediverse, and a lot of them are pretty sussy vodka. They retweet lolicon shit of the Tuhu characters and shit, so people have been giving him shit for that. If there's been any further revelations about Marcans associating like a lolicon and shit on the Fediverse following these accounts, I haven't heard of it because I've been deliberately not trying to follow it. Though there was that weird tweet that he put out in like 2020 where he was talking about how not every relationship between adult men and young girls is necessarily, toxic relationship. It was a weird quote, and it's a weird quote from somebody who's an adult man living in Japan, which had a federal age of consent of 13 until just recently. It had a federal age of consent of 13 until after he put out that tweet. So I don't know why he's living in Japan. One can only make assumptions about him. Someone sent me an email, by the way. I'll try to find it real quick. From a guy, the title of this email is Concerns Regarding Your Usage of the Term Pedophilia. And it's literally an 8-paragraph essay, and it contains an attachment of a clip that I did, which was a skit. It wasn't actually me being serious, but I was going over different anime shit. Like, I was trying, the joke was I was explaining the difference between pedophiles and not pedophiles in anime. And I used like Nagatoro and Tuhu and Lucky Star and shit and Jotaro as like examples of this. He took this clip and he sent me an 8-paragraph essay explaining how what I'm doing is extremely dangerous. I think the meat of this is in where he actually summarizes halfway through. Why am I writing you all of this? Well, as shown in the attached clip, you have in the past on one hand claimed that accusations of pedophilia are the worst thing to bring against another person, while on the other hand making such statements as, if you're a fan of K-On! And if you've ever posted reaction gifs of the characters, you're a pedophile, which is not, it's in quotes, but that's not actually a direct quote, or agreeing and repeating with stuff like Tuhu is for pedophiles. And he's saying that he actually in this email, speaking of my wide reach and my tentacles infesting pop culture, he alleges that I have single-handedly poisoned the well and made Tuhu unacceptable to publicly like and enjoy, because apparently he has been called a pedophile on Twitter for posting Tuhu pictures, and that is my fault because I am so persuasive and my little podcast is so embedded into the zeitgeist of internet culture that my ridiculing of it has ruined it for him. Oh, he actually mentions Hector. I'll read this too. I'm specifically writing you this because due to current events on the farms, one of the topics of the stream will certainly be Hector Martin. Now, I hate that faggot retard as much as the next farmer, and I know that you'll have somewhat of a personal vendetta against him due to the trouble he has caused on the site, but I am afraid you might try to get a one-up on him at the expense of Weebs and Tuhu as a whole, and once again might make these kinds of accusations against otherwise normal, although very autistic, Weebs who fully condemn lolicon and pedophilia. I obviously can't force you to do anything, nor would I want to, but with this mail, I would just like to think about this situation, because since you especially know best how it feels to be falsely accused of pedophilia, I'm not going to tell you to, and he put the emojis in, so I have to do it, do better, or some other queer shit, but I'd like you to keep in mind that maybe just consider the impact of your words might have. Sorry if that sounds gay. And then I said, kill yourself as a reply. And he said, retard neighbor monkey. If that's the hill you want to die on, so be it. So he didn't like my response, I guess. I don't know. I skimmed through it and I didn't understand. I thought he was defending lolicon because it's an 8-paragraph essay and I'm not fucking reading all that shit no matter what. So, step one, maybe you should go to remedial writing school, because you don't know how to phrase a fucking thought. You don't know how to summarize your actual point in a way that a human being can easily digest it. And then number 2, you should stop watching anime because it's fucking gay. Look, dude, as far as I know, Tuhu is just a bullet hell game, right? It's just a game where it's like there's like an anime girl on the screen and she shits out little rabbit pellets and they fly around the screen, and you're supposed to wiggle your mouse so that you don't get hit by the rabbit pellets, right? That's the game. So explain to me why they're all like 8-year-old girls, and then there's like this entire lore built up around them, and if I ever see a picture of that fucking ice fairy, she's being decapitated and disemboweled. Why is this the case? When I use image boards, I see more horrific, disgusting pictures of the ice fairy being torn apart than I do anything else ever. I don't know how I'm supposed to look at this and think, yeah, the people that play this weird ass game are probably well adjusted. I'm sorry if this is a thing that a disposition that I've gained towards Tuhu because of my use of image boards. But when I see this shit, I think, yeah, this is sus. All of this is sus. I don't want anything to do with any of this. I don't know. Look, maybe you should just lie. That's my suggestion for you. Lie about your interest. Say that. I was going to say you like wrestling, but I think I think professional wrestling is gayer than anime. It's just anime for other retards. It's like the same thing because there's like a trade-off, like in the retard skill point distribution. Like there's more like sussy pedo shit in anime, but I think that in professional wrestling it's like maxed out. It's like 10 points in gay. It's the gayest shit on the fucking planet. It's really I don't know. I think the issue with the professional wrestling crowd is that they legit, like, when they go through life, they like imagine themselves in like professional wrestling scenarios where they're doing interviews with the wrestlers, and then there's like the kayfabe is just like a part of life, and everything has to be contextualized in wrestling terms, and it's like it really fucks with your brain. In the same way that like Tuhu fans and anime fans see, especially with women, they see women as being like anime tropes and shit. And it's like there's something wrong with you when you go through your life and you just like have to conform everything that you see into these very, very narrow fictitious concepts that are your set of interests. Just saying. I mean, Ralph does it. Ralph, when he gets blackout drunk, he starts interviewing wrestlers when he's like asleep. He interviews wrestlers in his sleep when he's like fucked up. It's definitely something that I think watching enough professional wrestling like changes your brain chemistry and permanently, and you start seeing life as like a professional wrestling gig. Sorry, Gator. All right, what's next? Oh, and Cyrex's father has transitioned. I don't know why. It's really strange. It comes out of nowhere. But Cyrex's father is now a tranny. I hope that this information will benefit you somehow in your life's journey. Good luck with that. I don't know if it's not true. I've taken the bait and it's funny, so I'll retract my statement if I am corrected at some point. Okay. All right. Now some actual content related to funny people on the internet. This one is Louda with Crowda. Crowda has come out and he has addressed some accusations. In particular, it is with accusations that he cheated. As it says in the article, people on dark web website claim Steven Crowder cheated. Label this as big if true. Kiwi Farms, one word, a website devoted to documenting low cows and lowercase I internet drama. As a post earlier this week where a user alleged Steven Crowder had a relationship with several popular political influencers, also claiming one during his marriage. The post, which can be accessed here only through Tor. Oh, access here only through Tor can be accessed here. Okay, so the person that wrote this has a issue with writing and should also take remedial English classes with the anime avatar. Below are the screenshots of the post. We've centered out the women in the question and we haven't been able to reach them for comment. So a guy actually did register on the forum and drop all this information about Steven Crowder having various affairs. And then he used these pictures in his message, in his thumbnail. And to my surprise, he addressed the allegation, and not once at any point did he attempt to decry and demand that this dark web website, Kiwi Farms, which is only accessible through Tor, be taken down permanently. So I was very impressed with Mr. Crowder, and that he managed to not shit himself like a retard responding to the Kiwi Farms. change. I can't change. He said that as far as what he actually said in response to the allegations, he said that he has been on dates. However, the dates that he's been on have been with women after they agreed to part ways. So I think he's going through a divorce. They haven't finalized the divorce, but they're now separated, and he is with other women now. But it was after the divorce proceedings began, so it's not a big deal to him. I did talk about the Linus Gamers Nexus stuff last stream. I think that was on Tuesday already. The one thing I did not talk about, as far as I'm aware, I haven't been following that too closely. There's not been like another big revelation at this point after Linus put out his dipshit reply on his forum that Gamers Nexus made a follow-up message making fun of. I think after that, the corporate stepped in, clamped down everything, and are now, responding. We're taking the super seriously. We're investigating everything seriously as we possibly can. And Linus, if you don't shut your fucking mouth, we're gonna feed you to the fucking pig, okay? And so Linus hasn't said anything else stupid, and all their messaging has been ultra corporate PR modified and shit. However, this was pointed out and brought to my attention only in part because of this drama, but it's been around for a while. So as far as I understand, there was a kid and he wanted to be a popular YouTuber. So he bought an account on YouTube called Mind Chop. And I think he paid for over 1 million subscribers on YouTube just to kind of give him that little push that some smaller creators need to get started, such as, 1 million fake subscribers on their channel. He did get verified somehow as a result, so it's okay. So he goes to Linus Tech Tips and he talks about how his channel, and I think Linus openly ridicules him, points out that his subscribers are fake, his engagement is low, and basically just rubs his nose in shit. And the guy comes out and says on our Linus Tech Tips, "You destroyed my life. My son," oh, sorry, this is not this guy, this is his mom. "You destroyed my life. My son built a tiny YouTube channel named Mind Shop years ago. Due to legal issues with his MCN, he was not able to get a silver play button. I brought him to the NCIX bankruptcy auction to buy one with the hopes of engraving it with his channel name. We bought it from the auction fair and square, yet you demanded we hand it over to you. We said no, and you got your fans to harass my son and flooded his channel with dislikes and hateful comments. He stopped making videos, fell into a deep depression. He wasn't good with school. He was always bullied, but he found love in making videos. He expressed a desire in making more videos. I encouraged him to continue. We hoped your toxic fans would finally leave us alone. I created this Reddit account for him to use in the future. He posted another video last year after a long hiatus, but your fans still continued to harass him. He ended his life in August. My wife couldn't bear to... Oh, it's his dad. Couldn't bear to have any more Christmases without our son, and she ended her life just before Christmas. I am alone now. I have nothing left. I hate you, Linus Sebastian. You built your empire destroying the lives of others. I do not know why people idolize you. You are a monster." And then Linus himself actually replied, which is really fucking stupid of him because he has serious foot and mouth syndrome. And inshallah, this picture will load and I will be able to read his message. Inshallah, I will be able to... This picture will load and I'll be able to read this message. Okay. I'm going to have to read really tiny text here, I think. Can I open this in the new tab? So I think the issue is that the image cache on the reverse proxies don't cache slices correctly. And that is the reason why it does not fucking load. It does not help that this image is probably 42 megabytes because it's so high resolution, and it does not have to be. Okay, I'm gonna try to read the tiny text. This is my, you ever do one of those eye tests and it's like a thing on the wall and it's like, can you read the bottom line? I'm reading the bottom line for this entire response. Linus Tech says, your son seems like a really kind person, even though his He won the auction fair and square. He offered to sell the play button to me for what he paid. So I was so moved by his generosity that I called off the deal because I felt like he should have it due to the unfair situation with his former NCN. I'm deeply saddened to hear about his passing. I respect anyone who can build the kind of following he did on YouTube. It's not easy, and I would never send anyone to harass one of my fellow creators. This behavior from some viewers was brought to my attention in the hours after our video went public, and I made a statement specifically condemning the behavior and calling out what a great guy your son was. Here's the link if you want to see it. It's from a few days after your auction. I was very emotional when I first approached you guys about the plaque. It held a lot of sentimental value to me. As I said before, in just a few minutes with your son, I was so impressed by his graciousness that I no longer wanted to buy it because I felt he should have it instead. I said this in my video, and it's what I still believe. Here's a link to our interaction at the auction. I would hate for you to think I have anything but respect for your son and everything he accomplished. I feel it would be hard for you to look. I feel like it would be best to lock this thread since there are already some comments I don't feel are being respectful to you in your situation, Linus. What is the interaction? Hold up, let me find this. Mine shop Linus. I wonder if there is a reply that has it, actually. No. Okay. Sorry, I will get to that in a second, actually. Sorry, I fucked something up. I'm a very professional streamer, as you can tell. Okay. I just need the mine chop link. This. Okay, here we go.
One? Yeah. What are you guys actually after in there?
The plaque.
Sorry, which one?
The YouTube plaque.
The YouTube plaque. Okay. Yeah. I'll buy it off you.
No, he's got a channel. Yeah. I'm on. He's got over 1 million subscribers. So.
Sorry?
And I didn't get that.
Okay, I gotta level with you guys here. That's the channel I built. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
That's my plaque. Like, I'll pay you for it, but that's my plaque, guys. I didn't realize that this was like a choice auction here. The NCIX Tech Tips channel. Like, do you know who I am?
I probably watched your video.
Do you know who I am?
Okay.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, give it to you. What I did. Why didn't they just give it to you? Yeah, why didn't you just take it?
Because I haven't worked here for 5 years. So what's your channel?
The mine shop.
The what, sorry?
The mine shop.
Here, can I see it?
Yeah, just type in the mine shop.
So this is your channel? You're running this?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Actually, if you don't have one, I have two.
Okay.
I have one for Linus Tech Tips. I've got one for Tech Quickie. I was here to buy this out of sentimental value, but you know what? Honestly, you could rebadge this really easily. You know what, dude? Massive shout out. He was gonna do it, but tell you what, take it, enjoy it. It's the OG plaque, which is the one you should have.
Exactly.
And it's a lot nicer than the newer one,
the new one's
which you probably know.
Yeah.
So
Why did his fans go after this guy?
I'm defeated on the play button, but at least I have this NVIDIA shield that I bought in the parking lot. Okay? All right. Thanks, dude. Really appreciate it. It's a really nice gesture. You know.
So, because the kid's autistic and his dad is with him, his dad went out to buy this plaque for his son, who didn't get it presumably because he bought the channel, and he didn't actually get 1 million subscribers naturally. So he's like, I'm gonna give my autistic son a YouTube channel like he wants. He's gonna play pretend, put out videos, and then we'll go out and buy him a plaque. And in a cruel twist of events, the plaque he bought is Linus Tech Tips, who was there filming because he was going to buy this at auction. And because he wanted it back. I assume he sold it for a charity auction or something and wanted it back. And then because this guy and this autistic kid and his dad wanted to keep the plaque for the aforementioned purpose, and Linus didn't get it, his fans got really pissed off and harassed him over the plaque for a long time. Yeah, that's not Linus's fault. That's a fucked up situation, but that's not his fault. You can't just buy your autistic kid, a YouTube channel and do whatever the fuck you want and not have, because the whole thing, you're putting yourself out there. When you put yourself out on YouTube, you put yourself out there to be criticized by people, and if people want to criticize you for not giving over a plaque or whatever, buying a channel, that's part of being a YouTuber. Congratulations, you stepped in some shit and people are mad at you, and that's part of the job that you wanted in being a YouTuber, buddy. He posted the video. It is his fault. I mean, he doesn't seem angry here. I guess. I don't know. That's. Parents, yeah, I would say it's their fault. I don't know. That is fucked up that that he's dead and his mom is dead too. It's not Linus's fault though, I don't think. He doesn't seem angry. You're right. See if there's anything more to it.
You should have it. Put it on your wall. Yeah. And for the rest of you,
he's just like, yeah, I should have it.
If you want to make me feel better, you can go subscribe to my stupid cat channel so I can get a plaque for that, and then my feelings can feel better, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed in our performance here. I can't feel too bad about the play button though. I still feel good that someone who appreciates it got it, and that it will mean something to them. So I got.
Yeah, it's just not his fault. You wanted to be an internet celebrity. You wanted to have a 1 million subscriber channel. You wanted the play button. You got it. But when you do that, there's always going to be controversy and stuff. It kind of comes out of nowhere. It doesn't always feel like it's appropriate or it's like a justified thing. But that's literally the job. Most jobs, you have to deal with a shitty boss or shitty customers. On the internet, your job means that you have to deal with insane fucking people upset over dumb shit like a plaque that's not even theirs, Here's what they should have done. Here's what Linus should have done. Here's what I would have done in this situation. I would have fucking found somebody who is a YouTuber who does metalworking, and I would have paid them to make an actual silver plaque. Because that silver plaque that they hand out? It's just coated silver. It's like what do they call it when they do that? It's like electrum plating or something. It's just a plated silver piece of metal. It doesn't actually have real silver in it. I would hire somebody who actually does metalworking and then say, do a video where you make me a real silver play button. Electroplated, there you go. Yeah, make me a good ass play button. I want some OG shit. I want the button, like the little triangle in the middle. I want you to get some gold and make that a gold little indent. Don't give me no bitch ass fucking silver plated shit. The silver spring, exactly. Listen. The new plaque, dude. The plaques are such a joke. If you have 100,000 subscribers, you know how cheap silver is? It's like $30 an ounce. You mean to tell me that YouTube, run by Alphabet, making billions of dollars a year, you think that they would lose money giving someone with 100,000 subscribers a real silver play button? Absolutely not. They just don't want to. It's such a joke. It's a slap in the face. And someone with 1 million subscribers, you can afford gold for sure. Gold's expensive, but $1 million is $1 million. It's like 20. It varies. It's like $20 to $30 an ounce. Anyways, I can't show you this, but this black guy named Speedy, I Show Speedy, stood up and flopped his penis in the camera, and people talked about this. I think this was on YouTube, and then he got banned because he flopped his dingle dongus at the audience. And yeah, that's it. Just he's of certain socioeconomic factors, and that's just how they do sometimes. They hate us because our dicks is bigger and shit. My dick. And that's it. And then Amber Lynn's ex-girlfriend Becky was arrested for failure to appear in court. Apparently she did a video about this because people found this out. She had like a traffic citation, was meant to appear in court, talked to the county over the phone, and then came to a false understanding that her legal issue was resolved, and as a result, she didn't have to appear in court anymore. This was not the case. A bench warrant was issued for failure to appear, and then she had like another fender bender or something, called the police, and then as soon as the police arrived, they ran the plates and said, "Oh, you're actually under arrest because you didn't appear in court." So they booked her, and now 200 pounds. Yeah, that's wrong. She's 5'5" and 200 pounds. That's generous. I guess when you get booked in female prison, they like round down to the nearest 100 or something. Like, yeah, you're 200. It's okay. Don't worry about it. So that's the Becky update. She was too stupid to understand the legal system and accidentally got arrested for nothing serious. What did you stumble upon? This is on my feed. So, okay, listen, this guy, Sam Crow 69, my podcast is an internet cyber terrorist thought crime podcast. I talk about retards on the internet. I see more people coming over on Rumble thinking and saying in chat, like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? What am I listening to? It's very bizarre. I feel like I get more actual real life people discovering the podcast on Rumble than I did on YouTube before I got banned. Very fascinating to see. I benefit from being on Rumble. I wasn't actually expecting to benefit from being on Rumble. Death to Rumble chat. You know what's funny is that there are so few live streams on Odyssey that when I was doing my chat setup, I actually had trouble finding chats to sit in to steal messages from to test my system. I don't know. I don't even know why Odyssey was so much more less successful than Odyssey or than Rumble in that regard. Actually, I have to go to the bathroom real quick, and before I do that, I want to put up a video real quick. I have some bonus content here. Oh wait, that's the wrong video. All right, this is the video. Okay. Watch this as I go pee. I've already seen this, so I'm not going to be missing anything. Oh, this shouldn't work. Yeah, okay.
All right, I'm live again.
This is Bossman Jack again. This is the clip of him. He's on the cat slots, and whenever he's on the cat slot, you know he's down bad. He only plays the shitty cat slot when he's like really desperate. I don't know what it is. When you see the cat on the screen, you know it's going to be a bad clip.
Okay, here we go. Come on, let's go. Come on, baby. Come on. There's a 20 buy. Come on. Come on, one more cat, please. Come on. Come on, dude. Give me something, bro. Please. Please, man. Please, please, please. 4 spins left for $10. Come on. Let's go. That looks good. 2 times at least. Better than nothing. There's profit. Come on. Come on, we need a big spin. Big boy spin, please. Big boy spin with another cat. Another cat. Big boy spin. Come on, man. Wilds underneath. Please, please, please. Oh. Barely fucking win when I do win. What the fuck, man? This is fucking annoying as fuck. How is this fucking owning me so bad, man? What the fuck, dude? I'm not even excited over that. I don't give a fuck. It's still gonna lose because it keeps doing that over and over, bro. It's fucking wrong. It's fucking long, dude. That shit's fucked up, dude. Not always, dude. Just tonight.
You know, there's a really weird thing with his videos.
There goes 2 wilds. Is it gonna connect them?
Oh, let me,
Oh, it's gonna connect them. Come on.
there's a really weird thing with his videos
something.
where, like, he has,
Yes.
like, viewers who give him money so he can gamble it. And they're not, like,
Come on, big
rich
money.
people.
Big money on the last spin. Let's go.
But they like,
can pay.
lend him money and they expect to get that money back.
Re-trigger. 4 spins left.
They
Come
expect to
on.
get that money back.
Let's go.
And he's just gambling it away. And I don't know
Come
what
on, bro,
kind
come
of
on, bro,
shit
come on, bro.
happens where you get, like, parasitic.
Let's go. 4th cat.
Or-
Oh my god. 2 spins left.
I don't know.
Some wilds.
I don't even know what to call it.
Some wilds.
Like gambling by proxy, watching this guy gamble for you. It's really bizarre. This guy's like in his 30s. He lives at home because he gambled all his money
Some
away.
wilds, please.
So, this is a 4-minute long clip.
Wow.
And so far,
dude, what the fuck is
he's
that?
up a little
Really?
bit. He's got this this current spin that he's
Oh
got
my
going
God,
is
I'm really
at
about to lose
$50.
my
I think
shit,
it
dude.
goes up to $50. So now he's got $80 in the
Fucking
bank.
bullshit, bro.
He's gonna
Give me that 40
buy.
piece to pay big. Let's go 40. Come on, dude.
Puts in
Let's go 40
$40.
piece.
So I think it's like 10 for. It's like a bonus thing where you get 10
Come on.
spins.
Come
20
on, man.
cents a bet.
40.
And it
Oh
costs
my God, I
$20.
can't afford this, dude. I have money promised out.
Here we go.
This is bad. This is really bad. Oh my god. This is so bad for me. This is so bad for me, bro. Oh my god, dude. Come on. Come on, dude. Oh my god. No, dude. No. Bro, I can't do this. I can't afford this, bro. I actually can't afford this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, please let this hit, dude. Oh my god, man. I can't
I can't
lose
afford
this.
this. Better go back and,
I can't
and
lose
do
this
it
one.
again.
Come on.
Can't lose this one.
Come on, please, man.
There's no way. He's not
Oh
gonna
my
let it
god.
happen.
I'm really about to lose it all. Oh no, 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 stop it. Stop it, bro. Oh my god, dude, no. Dude, no, bro. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, no. No, dude, no, bro. No, no. No. Oh my god, dude, no. Oh my god. I mean, dude.
It cuts out. You know what's weird is I show some really fucked up shit on my streams. I get more mixed reactions on anything of Bossman Jack than anything else I play. There's a lot of people who watch this and they just feel really guilty, like watching it, like this is just sad. And then there are a lot of people like, yeah, you should make fun of more gamblers. I don't know. Am I crossing the line with the Bossman Jack? No, he didn't win. He lost it all again. That was money. He had won money, I think, that he owed somebody. And instead of just paying them immediately, he gambled it again. Bully gamblers until they stop. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I don't know why I find it funny. I watch it and I just think like, so what you're doing doesn't make any sense, and you do it anyways. I don't get it. And it goes through like such a wide range of emotions that it makes it pretty entertaining to watch. It is kind of a sadistic thing to watch this guy and be like, yeah, that's funny. I don't know. I can't. I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I said no. That's actually one thing too far. He's really sick. He's got an addiction. I make fun of a lot of sick people. Yeah, I don't understand the cat thing either. Like I can understand sitting at the betting table betting on cards more than I can understand the cat slot machine. It's the dumbest thing. So now that I don't make fun of Ralph anymore, because he's doing pretty well, I'm a little bit proud of my boy. He's managed to clean up and stay clean for a couple weeks. Good on him. As I say, I always root for comeback story. If someone like Ralph can come back from the brink and do well, then nobody has any excuse. So I will bite my tongue for a little bit and see what happens. However, just because Ralph is doing well does not mean that we cannot have our Ralph segment, for there is now the Ralph Extended Universe, which I have clumped Matthew Vickers and Nick Fuentes into. So this is the Ralph Extended Universe segment now, no longer merely dedicated to Ralph. In May, Mr. Vickers has been visited by the Sonichu demon and has filed an addendum, or an adjoiner, I think is the technical term, adding in John Doe's 1 through 50 to his defamation lawsuit against Ethan Ralph. If this sounds familiar, it's because it's very similar to the lawsuit that Patrick S. Tomlinson, stalker child, filed against the entire internet when trying to sue his trolls a couple years ago. So I will simply read the 2 paragraphs that were visible in this. I have received confirmation that I didn't actually believe this at first, because this is like a hardcore, this Danny Berries guy is like a hardcore Vickers A-log. So I'm like, I should be cautious about believing this. However, I have received pretty credible information that this is true. And he is actually suing 50 anonymous John Does on the internet. But what for? Let's see. Matthew William Vickers versus Ethan Oliver Ralph and Does 1 through 50. Does 1 through 50 inclusive are known to the plaintiff, who therefore sues said defendants by such fictitious names. Are unknown to the plaintiff, who therefore sues said defendants by such fictitious names. Plaintiff will amend this complaint to show their true names and capacities when the same have been ascertained. Plaintiff is informed and believes and therein alleges that each of the defendants, Does 1 through 50 inclusive, are negligently or otherwise legally responsible in the same manner for the events referred to in this complaint and has caused financial injuries as alleged in this complaint. As a proximate result of the acts of defendants alleged above, plaintiff was hurt and injured. Let me read this correctly. I have to clear up my dyslexia for a second. As a proximate result of the acts of defendants alleged above, plaintiff was hurt and injured his health, strength, and activities, and sustained injury to their nervous system and person, all of which have caused and continue to cause plaintiffs great mental, physical, and nervous pain and suffering. Plaintiff is informed and believed and thereon allege that these injuries will result in permanent disability. As a result of injuries, plaintiff has suffered damages in an amount not yet ascertained and to be shown according to proof at time of trial. So there isn't much meat to the complaint. Simply, Vickers adds in 50 anonymous people for some kind of damage that has permanently disabled him as a result of cyberbullying and so on. But that's all it says. Now, Vickers is a fat faggot. So when Vickers does something stupid and everyone correctly points out that this is a stupid fucking thing to do, he must posture and go, no, a stalker child. I did not spurge out and sue the internet, fool. You will see the grand design as I build it in front of you, child. So he's doing that thing where he's like, no, really, the enormity, the profundity of my immense chess play here cannot be yet viewed in full, because it is actually so genius that you spurgs, you little Kiwi farm spurgs, can't possibly comprehend how amazing it actually is. So I had a feeling that what he was doing is suing Xaniberry specifically. Like I said, this guy is like the top Vickers A-log, and he makes like 1,000 different accounts to like try and troll the fuck out of Vickers on Twitter. And I had a feeling that maybe what he was doing is suing Xaniberries, and because he's had so many different alt accounts, he's suing them individually as John Does 1 through 50, but it's just this one guy who maybe has done something line crossing that Vickers feels has injured him. That would be the most generous interpretation possible of the lawsuit. However, Vickers was kind enough to confirm that none of the John Does are Xaniberries. So the one A-log who I saw, who I thought might actually be culpable in some way, shape, or form, in a way that, you know, obviously I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying maybe there is something that this guy has done that is damaging to him that I don't know, but he's not involved at all. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing. And I can't wait to find out, because he insists that what he's doing is logical. and I just can't imagine what it is. So it seems like the crux of it seems to be that it would be people on Twitter. However, I'm somewhat suspicious that it might be everybody that posts on his Kiwi Farms thread. And if that is the case, I will 100% intervene and directly respond to this on behalf of those people. Because there's not a chance in hell he's going to do this pro se faggot shit and try to dox 50 people on my site through his slap complaint. Because that's just not happening. So if Vickers is going to try to subpoena me for information about 50 users, he's going to get replied to, and I'm going to do a little thing, some kind of war bond run to try and raise money for that, because that's ridiculous. I'm not going to be pushed around by some fat retard. But I really don't know what he's up to. This is him responding saying, it's paragraph 3 that is giving the Spurgs a mental break. They say I'm suing the lowercase I internet. LOL. I don't know what the fuck else you're supposed to interpret this as. Let me read paragraph 3. Oh, it's just the one that I read before. It just says that Joe's 1 through 50. So, I mean, that's all it says, is that he's suing an additional 50 people. So how could that possibly be interpreted as anything other than he's suing a lot of people on the internet for making fun of him? Because how else are 50 people contributing to his mental, his buck breaking, his brutal psychological buck breaking that has actually, he got buck broke so hard it penetrated his nervous system, and now he's disabled. He's a fucking cripple. He's going to be riding around California in a mobility scooter, shopping at Walmart, parking in the blue lined handicap parking space because he got buck broke so hard by 50 John Does on Twitter that he can't function anymore. I'm giving him attention, so he already won. I give all retards attention. How does he benefit? Because he's selling these? Look, this is merchandise that, look chat, I'm giving him attention. What? You can buy this merchandise on the Vicious Vickers shop. Do you want to be wearing a shirt that says the good, the bad, and the vicious, vexatious litigant, or good, the bad, and the vicious? They call me Pro Se Jones Bish. Is this, look, do you want to go buy this? You can buy this right now. Like, I'm giving him attention because this is fucking ridiculous. This is the behavior of a mentally ill person that I want to make fun of. That's why I'm talking about him, because it's funny to think that Mr. Vickers was at one point the innocent bystander father of a girl that was impregnated by Ethan Ralph in a really toxic relationship, who was a victim at some point and who now is a bigger draw than Ethan Ralph. Because like this guy, unlike Ralph, this guy had a lot of shit to lose. He's got a business that you could put liens against. He's got a family that he should be saving for college and shit with. He's got a lot of stuff you could take away from him. He's got a lot of stuff that he could burn to the fucking ground. And he continues to just act as belligerent and unlikable as humanly possible. I'm just sitting here thinking, what is wrong with you? What could possibly be wrong with you? It's truly bizarre. Extended universe lore is always better than canon. Maybe. And then, as I mentioned, the Nick Fuentes bit as part of the extended universe. Let's take a. This is also a good P clip. I should have just used this. This is 5 minutes. Maybe I'll. I don't know. It's worth playing. It's very funny. I don't know when this came out. He has the pumpkin on his desk. I know he brings that out on Halloween in October. So I don't. He looks old though. He looks like he already hit twink death in this video. Tell me how old this is. Okay, it is old. Okay, I'll play a little bit of it then, but it goes on and on.
Mio first. You're watching the Mio show. I'm Mio. You're watching the Mio show. I'm Mio. And Meow. The Meow, that's why I like it. Meow. The Meow show. Yeah, I'm Mio and I have the cat ears on. Meow. Hey, Rose Wrist, meow. Rose Wrist, catch this rape, bitch. He was crying to Destiny that I said I was going to rape him. He was like, it was like so graphic. He was saying he was going to rape me. He was shook. He was shooketh that I said I would rape him. Well, it's like I said, he thought it was funny putting on the cat ears, but all it did is Made me want to hold him down and rape him. That's on you, pal. He said, oh, he was going into detail about the rape kit. Yeah, they're going to do a rape kit on you. The doctors are going to do a rape kit, and they're going to find me guilty, and I'm going to plead guilty. You're going to go to the infirmary, you're going to go to the ER, and they're going to use a rape kit on you, and they're going to do a DNA test, and they're going to match the DNA to my DNA, and then they're going to charge me with rape, and I'm going to plead guilty. I'm going to say, Your Honor, I raped him. Your Honor, I was a raper. I raped. He put on the cat ears. He was begging for it. He was asking for it. That was a clear sign that he wanted it. That was a clear sign. He shouldn't have wore that. He sent a false signal. I don't know. He did, I didn't know. I'll say I'm guilty, and then they'll throw me away. They'll lock me up, and when I get out of jail, I'm going to find him, and I'm going to rape him again. Then when I get out, then I'll be released from jail after I've served my time for the initial rape. They're going to say he's got a clean record, never been charged with a crime, etc. So they're going to give me a lenient sentence. I'll be let off for good behavior after a short time. And then I'm going to look him up. I'm going to track him down. I'm going to come over to Sweden. I'm going to come over to Stockholm. And I'm going to find his little Swedish straw hut. I'm going to rape him again. I'm going to rape him again. And we're going to relive that trauma all over again. And at that point, he's going to like it. Because he'll have been thinking about it all that time, and he'll start to have liked the idea. All that time away in jail, think about he put me in jail. He'll feel a weird guilt about it. And he'll relive the trauma, and he'll begin to sexualize the trauma.
See, I want to pause it because it's very long, and it's like 5 minutes, but I'm going to play the entire thing because it's actually funny. This is when I watched this, I thought this is like recent, and then I realized no, this isn't recent because he's funny. He's like, I know it's like really creepy and weird, but it's like so ridiculous that it's like, this is actually really funny. And I was thinking, there's no way that Nick Fuentes today would be funny. He's so comfortable just like saying ridiculous shit right now in this clip. And it's like, there's no way this happened recently, because he's like such a little sourpuss ball of anger and like and shittiness that he could never relax enough to be like, yeah, I'm gonna rape that guy, I'm gonna butt fuck him, and then when I get out of jail, I'm gonna butt fuck him again. Like, current Nick Fuentes doesn't have the capacity to be lighthearted anymore.
And then the next time that I go to rape him, he's gonna greet me. He's gonna greet me and say, finally, another rape. He's gonna say, finally. He's gonna say, at long last. Here's that rape that I ordered. Now we're gonna get married. And then we're both gonna convert to Judaism. And then the cycle will repeat itself. I will cancel the next Nick Fuentes. I will turn off his bank account. I will ban his Twitter account. I will take his YouTube. I will turn off his Neuralink. I will disconnect his Neuralink during his teleportation. He will be spaghettified in a wormhole. That's the future of cancellation. In the year 2150, I will shut off his teleporter in the middle of his. He'll be quantum. He's going to be sliced open in the quantum dimension. A horrible cancellation, to be sure. So, he shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't have worn the cat ears. Now we're both sort of slaves to this destiny. Now, no pun intended. Now we're both sort of, we're chained to this prophecy, this self-fulfilling prophecy. I shouldn't have worn the ears. Now it is written. Now it is in stone.
Okay, I will pause it there because it's just going in circles. I did find that really funny. It's unhinged, but it's pretty funny. As I said, I watched it and I'm like, there's no fucking way he did that recently because that's too funny. He's too angy now. He's too much of an angy boy. All right, Extended Universe over. Last thing before I do super chats, as always, I like to close with a moment of Zen. I need to incorporate that from the Daily Show into my show somehow. The moment of Reddit. I have picked one Redditor out there on the internet wins a prize every stream. Who wins Spotlight Redditor of the stream of the episode? The answer is always Sweetie 33 in our Two Hot Takes. What is always Sweetie 33 been up to in Two Hot Takes? Let's read and find out. Let's get right into the news. My husband fought my brother. I, a 26-year-old female, have been married to my husband Mika, for 28 male, for almost 9 months. I have a younger brother, Wesley, 19 male, who never really liked my husband. We met in middle school, but we didn't really start talking to each other until our sophomore year of high school. Mika has always been a patient and happy person, but everything went south last Saturday night. Very big detail, Mika is black. My family and I are extremely white. My brother has always been a little racist, but never enough where it has been taken literally. That's why I never brought Mika around him, because Wes and his friends have a very bad habit of saying the N-word. Mika knew about Wesley's habit and said as long as he didn't say it around him, he didn't care. Fast forward last Saturday night, my parents invited us to dinner to celebrate my cousin's pregnancy. It was at my uncle's house, and all the kids were upstairs while the adults were downstairs. Of course, there were heavy drinks, and my brother ended up getting a little drunk. Mika got up from his seat and to go get something to drink when my brother bumped into him. Mika said, "Excuse me," but Wes cut him off midway and said, "Watch your step, dumbass neighbor." Then Mika lost it. He started punching my brother even when he started screaming and bleeding. Usually I would stop Mika, but in this situation, my brother definitely deserved it. My dad, my uncle, and my sister's husband spent 5 minutes trying to pull Mika off. When Mika finally stopped, he kicked my brother one last time, then left. Everybody started babying my brother, even though they said they didn't feel bad for him. When I saw Wesley's face, it was red, bloody, and extremely swollen. I immediately left because I just couldn't see my brother like that. When I got home, Mika was watching a movie on the couch. I go beside him and started crying. He asked me if I was mad at him, and I told him of course not, but it was a little extreme. He got defensive and said my brother disrespected his ethnicity, and he couldn't even look me in the eye. He packed a bag and said he was staying at a hotel. I tried talking him out of it, but he just walked out. My family is going berserk on me, asking why I didn't stand up for my brother, while Mika won't talk to me for any reason at all. And then on top of all that, I found out I was 6 weeks pregnant. What should I do? Update. My brother thankfully didn't press charges, and Mika finally came home. I apologized to him and said he forgave me and he was embarrassed and he'll never pull a stunt like that again. He's more than excited for our baby. We're planning to move to his home sometime in September for a fresh start, without telling my family, of course. I changed my number and blocked them all on everything. So basically, we are non-contact. Wow, life sure is interesting on Reddit. I'm so happy I have none of these fucking problems that this bitch has. I like how her description of her own husband is like, her husband is a cool, chill dude until he hears a magic word. And then he hears this magic word and kind of reminded of a story from like 10 years ago. This woman kept a chimpanzee as a pet. And I think because she was a woman and the chimpanzee was male, he considered her like his bitch. And then she had another woman babysit this chimpanzee for her at some point. And because it was like breeding time or something, he like really freaked out and ate this woman's face off like an apple. And you can just hear the screams and the 911 calls. Like, I can't get this monkey off of her. She's going to die. He's eating her face live right now. And so the police roll up and then just shoot him dead because he's like a feral, unhinged, psychotic monkey having like an episode. And as I read this story about how it took like 8 people to pull this guy from off this man for saying a word, that he's like in a blind fit of rage, unable to control his own emotions, and so powerful with his emotional compromise that he can't be physically removed by like an entire crew. kind of reminded of that. You just have to like assume, oh, he's not able to like think critically or control himself or his emotions or his behavior. And it's like, yeah. And then of course the Reddit's all on his side. Let me just read some choice comments. This wasn't just using the N-word. This was using the N-word and asserting dominance. He had an ass kicking coming. This black person says, I don't understand the comment saying Cher brother was a little racist, but not enough to be taken literally. Followed by, oh yeah, him and his racist little buddies use the N-word casually. OP, WTF, your shithead brother is a racist. These people literally think that if you say the N-word, that you should just be killed. You're not a human being. You don't deserve life. The average black person should be able to just assault you and kill you whenever if they even think that you're thinking it at them. If you look at a black person and they think that you're running it through your head, that's it. They're gonna kill you. You need to tell your parents you don't support a racist. You need to choose your husband and your baby or your family. Your brother knew what he was saying and to whom, and he deserved it. I'm with your husband here. I might be biased because I'm black, but I'm going to say this to you. Your family is racist. They accepted the fact that your brother's racist and are more concerned about him being physically beaten half to fucking death versus him saying the N-word. Your family could have spoken up about his behavior a long time ago. God, Reddit is just the worst site. Getting punched actually improves some people. Let's keep that up. Let's keep that line of thought going. We need to inject more violent rhetoric into our day-to-day life. And that is your Reddit moment. Scroll up to Social Perk. Okay, I will. Social Perk says, I met OP 25 years ago. Well, her parallel came from an extremely racist family and had a kid with a black guy. Cut scene to 8 years later. The relationship didn't work out, of course, and new stepdad was extremely racist too. Ever had a smart, beautiful, sensitive, sweet little half-white, half-black girl look up to you while playing with your own daughter and say very sadly, I'll never be good because I'm black. You're probably about 24 now, Chloe. I hope your life is better than what your family did to you. There is no such thing as half white and half black, sir. There is only black. Okay. Alrighty. Donation alerts. There's 2 from Pope Urban, and then I'll switch over to Odyssey. Pope Urban for... Oh, I need to do green. But wait, which one? This one? You know what? I'm going to switch it over a little bit. Can I get like a nice color? How does this work? Is this not going correctly? So the hue shift is the only thing that matters. Okay. Let's see how it is. No, that's too green. What about this? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, dude. What about this? No. Do I have to make it darker for it to not be so awful? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Nice. Nice. I'll make it a little bit yellow. Hue shift it. Yeah, that works. Okay. Chill mode. Here we go. Get ready, boys and girls. It's the best part of the episode. Pope Urban for 5 says, or for 10 says, I know you said you'd like to wait until next merch run to discuss the paper/sign, but I'm very excited about it. Okay, I mean, a lot of people seem to be. Once I have the thing is right now, I'm being crushed. I'm under a lot of pressure right now. There's a lot of shit that I'm doing, and I just need some time to fix the site, get the merchandise site up, get the Many podcast archive back up. It's been like half a year. Give me a second. I'm doing as much as I can every day. Like every single day, I'm doing shit to try and fix stuff, and it's hard. By the way, if you are like a Russian guy and you have a Kiwi account, not a Kiwi Farms, QIWI, and you have $5,000 in cryptocurrency, and if you trust me enough to send me $5,000 of cryptocurrency, I will send you $5,500. I do not know how to pay out of donation alerts, so I don't know. I think that's legal. I think it's legal to pay somebody like that. I think. I'm not sure. Pope Urban for 5 says, there are PI firms in Japan for Westerners. Bew faked suicide in Japan, and many site users would be happy to help crowdfund a hire to have them search for either proof for life or death, along with TOD for Bew. The fee might be around $1,000 to $2,000, but making the journals retract would be great. The journals will never retract. They've never even edited their articles to include the Department of State logs. I'm not spending $2,000 for proof that only a bunch of people in the forum would care about, and that we already know is bullshit anyways. It's not worth it. You cannot negotiate with journos. They don't function like real people like you and I do. Holy How for 2 says, it's been a great week. Rest in peace. Drop Kiwi Farm Tranny also keeps up. Rest in peace. Drop Kiwi Farm Tranny. Also, keep up the good work, Jersh. You're my nibba as always. Thank you, Holy How. Romberger for 2 says, very surreal here you talk about Ralph. Or talk to Ralph. I remember the broke dick farm shirts he made out of sheer anger. Were you frustrated with his super chat being read by a computer over your discussion? It was pre-recorded. When I found out that I had something that I had to take care of that morning, and that was like a little bit later, and you know, it's like a 6-hour difference or something. So I messaged him like, I can either pre-record this or I can give you an IOU. And so let's pre-record it. And like he said either do it that morning or for his time, so in the afternoon for me, or in the morning my time. And I said let's do it now. So it was pre-recorded. A lot of people, I think he should change his super chat system because it does bother a lot of people, and it wasn't always like that. And I think it definitely, the way that it interrupts messages and shit, it definitely degrades the quality of the stream. Rabies the Redneck for 2 says, greetings from this Coyote's new gaming computer. If I stream the Temple OS Chud game, could you please shout me out? God bless. I mean, sure, if you want to. There's not much game to it. It's just sort of like a tech demo, but Rabies the Redneck says he wants to play Temple OS at 10 million frames per second. Good luck with that. Rice Bandit for 5 says, hey, Jersh, please reconsider the decision to close the Telegram group for when the site is on ClearNet. Many good conversations between Kiwis on there. Have a good week, big guy. I'm sorry, but I cannot find people to moderate it. I tried putting a bunch of different people to moderate it. There are always problems. I just can't do it anymore. It's just such a pain in the ass. It's just not worth it. I know it sucks to, for shit like that to happen, but maybe one day the Matrix will get up and running again, and I can let Crunkword deal with that shit, because Crunk is the only person I can really trust with community shit. Nano Nomad for 20 says, fall asleep to a soothing Jersh bedtime story. Full 2-hour Alice in Wonderland audiobook narrated by AI Jersh on my YouTube channel, Nano Nomad. Okay, let's see this.
Sneed Audio presents Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, narrated by a voice clone of Null. Chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole. Alice was beginning to get very...
Is this my voice?
Perhaps it doesn't understand English, thought Alice.
Doesn't sound like me at all. sorry to shit all over your work, but it really doesn't sound like me at all. Usually the audio sounds a little bit off, especially if it's a song that's done in like an English accent. It's like that doesn't sound like me. It sounds like an Englishman, but that seems like way off. Sorry, buddy. Better luck next time. I appreciate the effort though. It's fun. People making memes and art and shit is drives interest into something. So it's not a wasted effort, but I personally don't think it's anything like me. Bill's here for 5 says, okay, I've been time to test your OSRS knowledge. To the best of your memory, what are the main steps events for completing the Underground Pass quest from start to finish? Okay, so the Underground Pass quest is in Artie. You have to talk to the king in the castle. There are some prerequisites for it. I don't remember what. You have to do the plague stuff with East Artie. Okay, so you walk into the cave, and then there is the guy. And one of the best things, the quest is actually better in the classic version of RuneScape, because when you're in the cave, there's like these creepy messages like join us, embrace the mystery in red. It was like the only place in the game that did that. They removed that in old school when they updated it to OSRS, but I remember that very fondly. So you meet the guy, he goes insane throughout the quest. You take an arrow, you cut the rope with the burning arrow, you cross the bridge, there's poison spiders there, don't get bit by the spiders. You then jump over a cavern, you have to walk over some kind of, the most annoying thing is the agility test where you have to walk over, or the picklock, the gate. You have to walk over like the spikes on the plank, and then you lose all your food. You go into the cavern, and then you walk across the grates, and it's the same pattern. It's a different pattern for every account, but then you walk across it, and it never changes after that. In fact, it didn't change from RuneScape Classic either. So I remember my passage was actually just a straight line through the middle. I remember that very clearly. And then there's some shit. I think you have to get an orb and crush it into a furnace. You have to do something involving a dead unicorn. And then the guy goes insane. Then you get into the big cavern that has the soulless, and he makes him in a cage. And you have to find the gauntlets from the dwarf that's there, and then you steal the 3 different parts of Ivan. You make a voodoo doll out of him from like a witch's house, and then you run into his thing and you throw it down the well, and then you steal his stick, and then you're done. There you go. I'm pretty sure I was close. I missed a couple things in the middle, like in the first cavern, but they're not that important. I got all the important stuff. Ivan's song is the best too. Hold up. Oh, this is a good. This is the good ass shit right here. So when you know shit's getting real. It's a shame that the guy that composed that song is a pedophile. Next, where are we? Cole for 5 says, Donga glad Josh also reject anime tribe. Donga and Josh not internet people. Donga welcome Josh to wrestle tribe. Yeah, right. It's a hard pass on that shit, buddy. I think I'm gonna be passing on the anime tribe, or the professional wrestling tribe. Tohu is for pedophiles for 20 says, when do people finally realize that everyone who is into Tohu is a pedophile? Every one of these anime watchers is a pedophile. Every single one. Alas. That's a bit, I don't know if I can co-sign that, but I am immediately suspicious of anime avatars. It is something. It's like you have an anime avatar. I just have a negative disposition towards you right off the bat. I know it's not fair. I know there's probably, and some I assume are good people, but don't trust them. Simple as. M30WG1 for 5 says, hey Josh, I'm a designer that did the patch plush card designs via email, and I have some downtime before university starts up again. Any requests? Card designs? Oh. Yeah, email me, jcmoon@pm, not me. I really need the guy that did the shirt to get into contact with me, because I need the transparent version. I want to do that like immediately, like in September. I want to start that like really quickly. So if you're that guy, you need to get in touch with me. I tried sending him an email and everything. I don't know how to get into touch with this guy. He's really hard to find, but he makes really great art. But I would like some backup plans, I guess, in case that doesn't happen. Fuel bonus page for 5 says, you should also use Dio Volenta instead of Inshallah. Speak no more of that heretical babble. It just means God's will, but in Arabic. It's not necessarily the Muslim God. It's just Arabic for God willing, right? Dio Volenta, that sounds, I don't know. It sounds a bit weird. I'm not a fan of like the Roman LARP. Though then again, I am Italian. If I was going to LARP anything, being Roman should be it. Friend of Sneed for 5 says, must replacement of blocking has downsides, but I think it is too heavily abused by those who want to post political shit with other opinions being challenged. The internet is too much of an echo chamber. Yeah, my issue is I've always said that I've been a proponent of like self-moderation. Like if you don't want to see someone shit, you shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? I do agree that people... I mean, if people want an echo chamber, they want an echo chamber, but unfortunately, the way that it is that people want an echo chamber that's enforced globally instead of one that they can just enforce for themselves, which is a better alternative. The Lonely Wendigo for 10 says, here, spend it on the cat slot. Not a chance. No fucking chance. I won't even joke about that and make people think I gamble or anything. The cat slot is the one way, is like a path to hell for sure. The Lonely Wendigo again for 3 says, the interview with Ralph was great. It's still surreal seeing you guys on speaking terms again. Well, I know that some people gave me shit. Like, he said really awful things about you, which is true. I can't believe you forgave him. I don't necessarily like. I feel like when you say forgave, a lot of people are like, you completely like just shrug it off. I mean, the thing is I never let what Ralph say to me get to me to begin with. So, which I think is part of the discrepancy. At no point were my feelings hurt. At no point was I like, did I feel betrayed or anything? At no point did it, like I said, did it like get to me? So it's more just that I understand the nature of Ralph, and I understand these ebbs and flows, and I understand what's entertaining and what's not entertaining, and I'm willing to set aside things which really aren't that important to me to begin with, such as maintaining a grudge, for the sake of doing what is most entertaining. And like I said, I do genuinely root for Ralph out of a place of good spirit and humanity, because it is genuinely nicer to see someone have a comeback story than it is just to like see someone completely fail at what they're trying to do. Like I said, if Ralph comes back from where he was at to, you know, a good place, then literally nobody has any excuse for it. You can all endeavor to be better people, no matter how bad you think things are. Twinkle Dart for $100 says, chat would like to know if you bought a banjo yet as an aspiring Appalachian. Also enjoy prison. Aspiring Appalachian. I don't know. I kind of want to be near a Walmart. I don't think Appalachians have Walmarts. I mean, the P.O. box isn't like real estate, if that's what you mean. The whole point of incorporating in West Virginia was that it's the registered agent is just a you don't need a registered agent as long as you have a P.O. box for mail to go to, and like a principal office, which I think is just some guy's random empty, you know, commercial lot. But aside from that, I don't really have any interest in the Appalachians. Well, thank you though. Person's account for 20 says, don't mess up Friday. Try not to. It's ominous. Why am I going to be messing up Friday? It's true. The Appalachians do have juice. I might be hunted like a dog if I go to Virginia or something. Anyways, thank you, person's account. I don't know what you're planning to do on Friday, but it has me spooked. That's that one. Crumble. Then on Odyssey, Maid Cafe support group for 5 says, hey Josh, please don't read the country out loud. I got accepted into the Peace Corps and they want to send me to random shithole in Africa to help start businesses. I'd be gone for 2 years. Is this a good idea? The Peace Corps, is that a part of the UN? It's part of the US. And they want to send you to a random shithole. Okay. I mean, do you feel philanthropistic? Do you actually have an interest in going to this random backwater shithole in the middle of fucking nowhere and helping people start up small businesses? Because if you do, go for it. I'm going to take a guess that you don't have jungle fever. So you're not like going to pick up a wife in this country. So I don't know, man. That's a hard one. I was interested when I was younger. Like when shit was really fucked up for me and I was thinking that maybe the site wouldn't make it because of the initial set of problems that we had when it was much smaller and there wasn't as much support for the site. I was thinking maybe of joining the UN and going to do shit like that. But because I do have an interest in that. I would love to set up networks in developing countries and stuff. It's just really fucking hot there. I hope you don't mind hot weather. Good luck with that, though. Be safe. Common Filth Respecter for $100 says, "Hey Josh, you ever gonna do call-ins again? I want to call you a potato neighbor live. Anyway, take my money. Good show. Thank you very much." I would need an excuse to do call-ins. We did call-ins before every week, and I stopped doing them because I think they got grating on people. No, I remember why I stopped doing them. Our Discord got shut down, and I decided I was done with Discord, and I never made another Discord server. So the venue which we used to do call-ins and stuff was closed, and additionally, it was so long ago now that it was like a couple hundred viewers as opposed to a couple thousand. So if I started doing those again, I don't know how people would react. I know a lot of people sometimes go back to listen to old episodes, which did have call-ins, and usually the feedback on those really old episodes that do have the call-ins are negative. People, there were like a couple of gimmicks, there were like a couple fun callers, but I have a feeling if I did it now, it would be just a lot of people calling in to be like, "Hey, keep it up, good job," which is nice to hear, but it's not particularly entertaining for a podcast. So I could think of a reason to do a call, and since I haven't done it for so long, it would be novel again, and see what happens. It would probably be a shit show, but it would be fun to do for at least one thing. I have thought about it though. Yeah, Easy Peasy called in a lot. I don't know. It would be more energy. You know what I mean? Because one of the things about the Ralph stream back when the Ralph Retort was really popular was that there literally you didn't know what was going to happen on the Ralph Retort. Crazy shit would happen. It would happen because of the call-ins. People would call in and be like, and he would be shocked by who calls in. It would be like Keemstar and Boogie. They would come out of nowhere, just randomly join his Discord server and start arguing live for like the entertainment of everybody there. And he would get like 6,000 people this way. There's like a huge amount of energy behind his call-in segments. So it could be interesting, but I don't know if that's what I want to do. I could do it every so often. It's like a gimmick. Internet for 40 says, "What books would you recommend to someone who has read History of Central Banking and found it informative? Thanks for the entertainment you've given to everyone over the past decade. Take care." Let me open my Calibre. I don't know if I have my... Oh, I do have my books on this. So here is my library. I have not read all of these, but I do intend to read them at some point. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The Storm of Steel, original 1929 translation by Ernst Junge. The Invisible Gorilla and Other Ways Our Intuitions Deceive Us by Christopher Chabry. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. The Concept of the Political Expanded Edition by Carl Schmitt. I would actually recommend that to people interested in political stuff. It is a fascinating perspective on what the concept of political is. It's a really unique take, and it's become a bit of a meme, so it's interesting. Julius Evola, Revolt Against the Modern World. I would not recommend that. I thought it was shit. He did not at any point say anything persuasive or effective, and I gave up on that. That's a book I would not recommend, even though it is a meme. Guns, Germ, and Steel by Jared Diamond. Praise of Folly by Desiderius Erasmus. I'm sorry, I haven't read that one either. I don't know how to pronounce that. Mastery by Robert Greene. What Has Government Done to Our Money by Murray N. Rothbard. So chances are you would be interested in that. And I got Fahrenheit 451, The Great Gatsby, The Myth of Sisyphus, The Stranger, also by Albert Camus. Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky is a good read, even though you don't agree with it. He writes it very neutral. He writes about how to effectively commit change by political action. American Betrayal by Diana West, I think, is also a book you'd be interested in, even though I haven't read that. I know what it's about, though. There you go. That's my entire Calibre. That's everything that I've read and intend to read. A distinct lack of Max Stirner. No, I have that. The ego in its own, Der Einzige und sein Eigentum by Max Stirner from the Neo-Reactionary Library. I do have that. I did read this. I did read The Ego in Its Own, and it was not particularly persuasive, though the book has an extremely great and way ahead of its time point that democracy is a modern god for the godless. And people have replaced God with the concept that whatever people vote for first past the post is like divinely inspired somehow. It's a really interesting point that rings really true in the modern time. Okay, next one. Sorry, moving right wrong. Kali Yuga Rider for 5 says, Jersh, how do you feel about the fact a retarded Stalinist tranny, Cogs Dev, created your site and the Daily Stormer is more deplatformed than the Kiwi Farms, despite also being completely legal in the US? The Daily Stormer is more deplatformed than the Kiwi Farms because, number one, it's called to action behavior. Number two, it's not actually legal in the United States because what's his face? Andrew Anglin has warrants out for him because of his outstanding legal issues. And Cogsdev did not start the Kiwi Farms. He started the Quickie. The Quickie Farms was started by Champtham. Power Chad Overcock for 750 says, crazy how it's always women that are getting rebranded by trannies. Where are all the trans women that want to get the roles men have rebranded? What? It's all sick, disgusting perverts trying to degrade women to fulfill their own fetishistic lifestyles. 42% isn't enough. Hashtag TTD. Women are more easily bullied than men, which is why trannies have a leg up over women. He sent this exact same message twice, so I thank him for that. And then he also adds a note for another $1 saying, I'm fine with the double charge. Well, thank you very much, Power Chad Overcock, for $16 in total, I hope. I feel like my answer was unsatisfactorily short. But it does boil down to that. It's not just that it's fetishistic. I understand your point. It's just that it's way easier to bully women and make them feel bad and convince them to be handmaidens than it is to convince men to not be gross perverts. Neighbor for 5 says, most venerable Kiwi Daimo, please expel this usurper from your court. It is my job to send you 8-paragraph letters that you don't read. How will you not read them if more people send them to you? This is a travesty. I think this guy also, there's one guy, he has a weird name I can't remember off the top of my head. He sends me very, very, very long emails about anime, very specifically anime. And if I can't remember, there's like a subsection of anime that he's very interested in. And if I ever talk about that, he writes me an actual like 20-paragraph long essay about it. I don't know why he does this. Finno-Hungarian Imperialist for 5 says, if you watch the cat slots, they're designed to always pay out at least a pittance on every spin. I think it makes it feel like he's close to a win. No, all of the slots do that. All of the slots do that shit where they literally pay you pennies on, like pennies at a time for like, and then everything is like, oh my god, I did like a mountain shaped zigzag. That's like 4 cents of a win, bro. And it just like spams you with like pennies adding up. The cat slot is like the ugliest of all the slots. It's just a really hideous design. They all function exactly the same fucking way. It's the same game reskinned over and over again. I don't know what the cat slot is like. If that shit is what he's playing, he's super down bad. The rules of the game are very similar though to the other ones. It's just different gimmicks to it. A&N did nothing wrong for 10 says, Kiwi Farm's ticking along on tour and Maddie's still going live on Rumble/Odyssey and surprisingly usable on VK. I don't want to jinx it, but all tech seems to be working. Am I wrong for thinking that the Kiwi Farms has got to be one of the most active legit sites on tour? It probably is, to be honest with you. There's a bunch, I mean, as far as like completely legal US content, yeah, it probably is the largest. But I mean, it's just, there's other sites like Facebook has a tour URL. We're not the only site that does that. But it's nice to have. And Finno-Hungarian Imperialist again for 15 says, the tutor stream was improved by having a thread regulars call in. But if it's not a person stream with that specific expertise on offer, call-ins are pretty meandering and pointless. Yeah, I think a lot of people like the presence of, it was actually, God, what was his name? Yawning Sneasel. He hates me now. He was one of the call-ins, and the other was a former admin who disappeared after the 2019 hack. And I completely forgot her name too. It's been so long. But they both called in. And I knew them. I was friends with them, which is why it sucks that one disappeared and the other hates me now. But such is life. Do I have this song offhand by any chance? I do.
I'm walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind on the borderline
Oh, it is
of the edge and
M-Specs was the God, my mind, things go a million miles a second for me. I forget shit really fast. Even stuff I probably shouldn't. It makes me look like an asshole. Why does Yawning Sneasel hate you now? It's going to sound like a cop-out, but I don't remember. Yeah, I really don't remember. Everyone has their reasons. I'm sure I'm an asshole sometimes, and I deserve it, but I don't commit that shit. Like my strategy for dealing with people who don't like me and can't be reasoned with. There's no way to make amends. I literally just delete that shit from my head. I take stuff that is a detriment to me and I put it out of mind and I completely forget about it because I have other shit to do. And I think, double check, do believe that is everything. More. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I will probably see you on Friday. We'll see, unless I forget. And until then, take it easy. Oh, so over the weekend, I had a very important thing to take care of, right? And I was incidentally exposed to some music, which made me laugh out loud in public and inappropriately when I realized what was happening. So I would like to play that song for you. It has nothing to do with anything related to the stream, but it was very funny. So let's exit chill mode. And all right, here we go. Yep. See you tomorrow on Friday. Bye. Where is it? Bye-bye.
Come gather round, you diggers all, who work the gold fields rare. It's of a trick was played on me, and it's caused me to despair. I came to town the other day, me precious gold to trade, and there I met a pretty maid who did me heart betray. And her lips were red as roses, and her eyes a deep sky blue. Her hair is yellow as the gold she stole from me and you. We went into a public house, and there we did imbibe whiskey and strong porter and dreadful stuff besides. 'Twas then she asked me up to bed, to which I did agree. But truth to tell, I fell asleep before she'd earned her fee. And her lips were red as roses, and her eyes a deep sky blue. Her hair as yellow as the gold she stole from me and you. When I awoke next morning, no trousers could I find, but scattered all around the room were women's clothes so fine. Me jacket, shoes and gold was gone, and all that's left behind was a woman's dress, a yellow wig and a shaving kit not mine. Her lips were red as roses, and her eyes a deep sky blue. Her hair as yellow as the gold she stole from me and you. Why did she need a wig? Why did she need to shave? 'Twas then the truth had struck me in a fit of blinding rage. Me pretty maid's a man, I cried, and thanks be I fell asleep. For I'd rather lose a bag of gold than wake up with that creep. And her lips were red as roses, and her eyes a deep sky blue. Her hair as yellow as the gold she stole from me and you. To venture in the street again, I cautiously inclined. I had a shave, put on the wig, and wore the dress so fine. And as I walked along the street, a digger gave a wink, And I thought of all the gold he had, and I offered him a drink. Oh, her lips were red as roses, and her eyes a deep sky blue. Her hair as yellow as the gold she stole from me and you. Now you may think it sinful, you may think it bold, to take advantage of the lads who struggle for the gold. It's easy putting on a dress and drinking whiskey neat, but leave your shaving kit behind when they are fast asleep. Oh, her lips were red as roses, and her eyes a deep sky blue. Her hair as yellow as the gold she stole from me and you. Yes, her lips were red as roses, and her eyes a deep sky blue. Her hair as yellow as the gold she stole from me and you.